Hi, Felix. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Akio. Hmm. I had two other things, but it was just too early for anyone to be on, so I had to delete them. Hmm. Hey guys, guess what I'm watching? Guess what I'm watching, guys? Power Ranger. Hmm, hmm. Hey, Felix. I wonder how Faith and Eliza react once they learn that their daughter. Oh, Power Rangers. Wonder how Dave and Eliza Jack once they learned that their daughter Michelle turned evil because she fell in love with a symbiote. Oh, oops. Sorry, Ray. Sorry, Raven. Hmm. Hmm. Ray, I heard that Colin had you wake up at 5 o'clock a.m. so you can master your empire. Hmm. Hmm. And, hey, Alfio, there is something that is pretty well known. Atlee is isn't exactly trust faith because we're one, she's not exactly from the universe, so Atlas and when Faith learns that Atlas' mother blocked the barrier zone, bar- dimensional barriers, Faith will learn that she can never return to her own universe. The only other way is to jump into a black hole. And that's not exactly an easy thing to do. Hmm. And and Eliza will actually scold Lover's best friend that she kind of figured that this was a possibility. She warned Faith, and Faith was like, just being a warrior, Eliza. Just what can possibly go on? Faith was being her normal self and shrug off Eliza's warnings. Liza was upset that Faith didn't listen to her. She warned Faith about it. She knew it was going to happen because she was aware that time was of Felix's universe. Hmm. Faith was upset. Faith knew due to the time of Jeanette and Michelle from Elijah Jeanette that there was a high chance Michelle could fall prey to a symbiote, but she never thought that her own daughter would fall in love with the daughter of Venom. A lot of usually remains calm most of the time. It doesn't change the fact that he's a Pisces and they can be highly emotional. What? Wait, Felix, are you giving me that look? I'm not that emotional. Seriously? Felix knows Atlas is lying about that. The fact is, Atlas is emotional. He just hides his emotions that much, that well. Why not? And you don't have any proof. And Atlas is just being a bit. His pride is his own pride of being a Time Lord is getting the better of him. Ooh. Ouch. Solve that? I do maintains is usually just a calm expression. It's hmm, sure expression. It's probably explains why Rena and Sullivan why Rena doesn't exactly have a depth problems with our old man. Hmm. Well, Average is overly emotional. Don't say that. She's gonna cry more. If she cries, she makes a river. She cries, she causes an earthquake. Hmm. Hmm. And that Marina describes her father as someone that doesn't care about anything. That basically describes Sullivan's entire personality as as someone that is overprotective, is willing to not interfere unless necessary. Mm. Well, Mina does have one least favorite person. It will be Atlas, her uncle. She actually break Mina goes out of her way to break the house of numbers many rules, except for one, killing family members. Now that is a rule that no one must ever break. Let's just say the Lumber family do not take lightly to those who break that main rule. Rena breaks any other rule, like staying up past bedtime. Hmm. But that's that's usually a rule that many members of Atlas's family breaks. Hmm. I'll be back, guys. Hey, Felix, Rena, she does not like her Atlas that much. Despite Atlas being her uncle, her only uncle, besides Felix and his friends, Rena constantly breaks most of the rules in House Number. Not all of them, because there is one rule that cannot be broken. Just doing so will have huge consequences. This rule is actually something that has been broken before. You shall not kill members of your own house. And this rule is literally big, is one of the bigger ones. Rina has a she finds how simple and breaking one of Uncle and breaking one of the family's rules by messing with Atlas's tech. Basically, she constantly makes things difficult for Atlas, He now has practically two jobs in the future as Lord Chancellor of Gallifrey and Cliffy Archer of House Lumberyard. At least his job is pretty stressful already. One, he has to do with everyday politics, which he still doesn't understand. And two, he has to do with family drama, which is a normal thing for him. You have, you guys have no idea how much trouble I basically have to go through just to keep my family from basically ripping each other apart. Even Akio is aware of that. Even Akio and Archie are aware of that. Since their kids basically stole a time machine, Eli and Emma, I still who will become in the future time, they will be still lost to time. And Atlas will be responsible for tracking them down. This is basically a huge problem. And it doesn't help that Archie keeps yelling at Atlas to find her kids or she will hurt them. Basically, she'll be mad that her children and will take it out on either Akio, Felix, or Atlas. Usually the three of us are he us three responsible. And Atlas is the Lord Chancellor. And you can guess how much a headache that is. And Akio has no choice but to listen to what Archie says. Especially when Archie's mad. Akio's a scaredy cat. He's like the one person he does not want to anger. Ooh. I know James and now Rena does get along with her big sister though. Hmm. Rena, but for some reason, Felix is always the one that Rena pranks a lot. And he keeps falling for the same prank repeatedly. He steals a sword and replaces it with with a with a bread copy of a copy of a sword made from bread. Falling for it though. Everest knows her little sister is not exactly like her since they both have different fathers. One, Everest's father is James, and two, It was his stepdad Sullivan is a better father than James because James actually Felix always finds out, but he keeps falling for the same trick. Felix was doing with Atlas when suddenly his sword breaks. Wait, what? Felix, I think the sword just broke. Felix, why did your unbreakable sword break? When Felix learned that his own sword, which is considered as unbreakable, broke, he was shocked. But when it smelled of bread, Felix took a bite of it, which confuses Atlas. But when Atlas realized it was just bread, what? Did you fall for the old replace sword with bread sword trick again? Why do you keep falling for that trick? Hmm. Hmm. Felix keeps falling for that trick. But at least the bread sword is yummy. Dude, do you know who you're speaking to? I judge you quite often. After all, I'm not mistaken. Maybe one time you were forced to date Cruella de Vil, not by choice. It would be one instance of Atlas in villages every instance of village past, something that will not show up on his adventures, something that will be brought up a few times. Although then one of the Avengers, Felix and at Felix was forced to into a date with Cruella de Vil. Not just to save a Dalmatian puppy. And the price was Felix had to go on one date with her. Let's just say he did not enjoy it one bit. It was terrible. And Atlas doesn't usually mention it, but when he does, Felix gets embarrassed about it. This happened in the past. Felix had to save a Dalmatian puppy from Cruella de Vil, and Cruella gave him an ultimatum. Take her out on one date, and you let the puppy go. If he doesn't, the puppy becomes a fur coat. Yeah, you kinda had no choice but to say yes. But this happened off screen, something that will not be shown, but it will be mentioned. It will be something that Atlas brings up a few times, just to mess with you. Hmm. At least I didn't have the guts to literally take Cruella de Vil on a date. And when Jill learned this, she just laughed. Even though she doesn't know who this Cruella de Vil is, you have a feeling that this woman was not a good person. Felix, I know you did what you thought was right, but that was entirely risky. I think I'm going to end this stream, guys.